Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's live stream. We've got a lot of weather that we're going to be talking about tonight. Joining me tonight is my team member, Rob Salso. Rob, great to have you on the live stream with us again to kind of break everything down. We have quite a big pattern change that we're going to be seeing coming in here. So if we take a look here at the water vapor imagery here on the satellite picture that you can see. So it has been really nice here these last couple days across the southeast. We've got a big ridge that's been in place across the southeast, bringing plenty of abundant sunshine. Big high pressure system there. And up in the Pacific Northwest, you can actually see our Pineapple Express system that is coming ashore there, bringing tons of moisture, lots of rain. That is coming in. And then we're going to have a parade of clipper systems across the Great Lakes region. You can kind of see the one right there coming across. Yeah, exactly. Coming across Wisconsin and Michigan. And we're going to see a couple of these different clipper systems moving across. And so big pattern change going to be taking place. The South and the East, we've been enjoying this warm weather. We'll enjoy it here through the end of this week. But then as we get into the beginning of next week, we are going to see a huge temperature flip across the U.S. Take a look at this here. Temperature anomalies that we're looking at here. Let me get this here for you guys. So you can see here, according to the temperature anomaly map, that we have quite a lot of warm anomalies across much of the United States. Well, as we go forward in time, this is not going to be the case. Let's kind of loop through this here, and we can kind of see here this temperature anomaly. We're going to see the west warm up, and we're going to see the east here. Really, you could see this big cool down coming in right here, as we get into Sunday, and then especially as we go into Monday. I mean, look at some of these temperature anomalies here as we get into Monday and into Tuesday. I mean, we're talking 10 to 20 degrees below average as we're going from Tuesday even into Wednesday, across a big portion of the southeast and really all of the eastern U.S. And Rob, I mean, this is we're going to be seeing freezing temperatures all the way down into the Florida Panhandle. I mean, places like Tallahassee on Tuesday morning, I mean, you could have temperatures right around 32 degrees and wind chills possibly even lower than that with the strong winds.
Oh, definitely.
So, I mean, obviously, we're seeing a big pattern change. And, I mean, this has to do with there was something that was declared today, Rob.
Yep.
And that would be we have now officially entered into a La Nina. And with that, this also brings some big news as far as the tropical cyclone. What are we looking at here, Rob?
So here's the hazard outlook from the Climate Prediction Center showing the tropical development. As you can see here, for the next couple weeks, we are not anticipating any tropical development. And that's due to this system coming in. This trough's going to bring a lot of stable conditions to the Caribbean, more wind shear. So there won't be a lot of development anticipated, which will pretty much, as we get to the end of November, that's the end of the hurricane season, as you know, November 30th for the Atlantic. So looking pretty good for the, parts of the Caribbean and the U.S. Gulf Coast for hurricane season ending, hopefully soon from the looks of it.
Yeah, and especially after Hurricane Melissa, I think that is going to be some welcome news for pretty much everyone ready to see this season kind of come to a close without any more named storms. So that is definitely some good news because, I mean, again, Jamaica and Cuba and all, they have a long road to recovery. I mean,
definitely.
I saw a report today that it probably equivalent of about $4 billion. That's billion with a B,
Wow.
$1 billion worth of damage at early preliminary estimates. Could be higher than even that.
Yeah.
But now, so we're going to transition and be talking about hurricanes, and we've got some of our first snowflakes of the season that we're going to see here in the next 6-10 days. And this goes back to that temperature anomaly that we were seeing here. This map here that I'm showing is the 6 to 10 day probability outlook, and so you can see a huge portion of the eastern U.S. there with those very well below average temperatures here, and then across portions of the western into the Rocky Mountains in those areas, it is going to be warm. So let's take a look here at the latest GFS forecast
Yeah.
that we've got, and this will kind of highlight really what we're talking about. So you can see it starts out there with that atmospheric river in the Pacific Northwest, and there's our first little clipper system moving across. And there's that other one, and we could even be seeing lake effect snow with a couple of these
Yeah.
systems, Rob. I mean, parts of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario are running 2 to 3 degrees warmer than average for this time of year.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Yeah, I mean, all the way up to you go to here. Yeah, it looks like possibly even parts of Northwest Michigan, 9 inches. The GFS is saying lower amounts in parts of Wisconsin and Illinois, but this could go up and down depending on amount of error. So this could be lower than this. This could be higher. If we take a look at the euro, yeah, the euro doesn't have it here, but yeah, looking at the GFS, could be anywhere. I'd say anywhere from like 2 inches to maybe a foot, anywhere in this area.
Yeah, and that's over. That's really over. The next week, because like I said, there's
Yeah.
going to be a couple different clipper systems that are going to come through, pretty much one right after the other. And so I
Yeah.
think we're going to also have to watch for some potential of some lake effect snow, especially into parts of maybe northeast Ohio, the Erie area, even over toward western New York, and even up into upstate New York, parts of like Watertown and those areas could get in on some early season lake
Look at
effect
that.
snow totals. Exactly, yeah. So even into some parts of the interior Northeast, places like upstate New Hampshire and Vermont could be getting some decent snow here with these first couple systems. So it's definitely something that we're going to have to really, really keep an eye on with this pattern change. So uh,
Sure.
really, obviously, enjoy the next few days here across the eastern U.S. with these warm temperatures, because once we get into this weekend, especially into Sunday, yeah, let's take a look at that close up there, Rob. That's great. Once we get into this weekend, we're really going to start seeing
Yeah, look at that.
that those cold temperatures come plunging in from the north.
Now watch. You get this small cold air coming in on the north side of the Midwest, and then after that, I mean, it just really pulls down. And
Yeah,
look at that.
exactly. I mean that is some major cold Arctic air blasting its way south here in
Yeah,
mid-November. Mid-November. So I mean that's a
definitely.
huge trough digging down deep
Yep.
down. The good news is with it is it's not going to last very long, as you can see.
No.
I mean, we're really just talking a few days, Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday, and then even by Wednesday, we're going to be back up to the 60s here across
Yeah.
Southeast, and the cold may stick around a little bit longer for parts of New England, specifically
Probably
again
too.
like upstate New York and Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, those
Yep.
areas. But the majority of the country will kind of get back to that typical fall weather. But if this is a sign of what we could be seeing later this winter, um,
Yeah.
hold on to your hats, everyone, because we might have a quite an active early winter season to be talking about. I mean,
Sure.
And we were talking about that atmospheric river, and you can kind of see that big low pressure system there kind of coming in off the coast of California right
Yeah, look at
there.
that.
Yep. So that's going to bring a lot of needed rain to that area, but it could also cause some power outages. We could have really high winds across parts of those areas, which could lead to
Looks like
flooding and even possibly some landslides and
multiple
stuff like that. Yeah, you
multiple
can
atmospheric
see.
rivers. Look at that.
Yeah, it's just
Like four.
just
Four in a
round
row.
of them. Yep, round after round of storm.
Two,
There's in
three.
the Cascades,
All
even
that
getting
snow.
down into the Sierras. Yeah, and then
Yep.
that inner mountain western snow there across parts of over toward Yellowstone and those areas,
Hmm.
getting in on some of that good snow here, November snow. So hurricane season coming to a close, and old man winter knocking on the door here in about a week. We're
There is
gonna
something. There is something to note about this model. Again, these models are very inaccurate once you get past a week. So, but the model actually does show possibly one more.
Yeah, which would
But
be
like,
which would be a CAG storm, but again, this is the
right?
GFS, so
Yeah.
you bring up an excellent point, and this is good for our viewers to know. Like you can see this stuff, but really anything beyond 7 days, you
I mean,
really have to take it
look at the
with
date.
a grain of salt. Yeah, exactly. And
17th.
people will share pictures like this, be like, "Oh man, another
Yep.
major hurricane's gonna hit Florida in 3 weeks or whatever, two
Right.
weeks." Um,
Like if you look at the last model, let me pull up the 12Z. 12Z, it wasn't showing anything.
yeah,
Maybe a little something
exactly.
down here, but it kind of like there's a lot of margin for error. So
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
like this one doesn't show anything at all. So
of course, hurricane season. Yes, it goes till the end of November.
right.
But overall, it's looking less and less likely that we're going to see anything significant develop. Could we? Absolutely. There's always that possibility, and that's why we have to remain vigilant.
Mhm.
Because a week from now or 2 weeks from now, we could be talking about something. You never know. But overall, with this huge, these strong signals in the atmosphere, it's looking less likely that we're going to see another storm. But at this time of year in November, if we were to see any sort of tropical development, the
Mhm.
western Caribbean into the Gulf of Mexico or right along the eastern coast of Florida, those are typically your main development regions for any sort of
Right.
tropical systems this late into the hurricane season. Um, but
I have a
again,
question.
go ahead, Rob.
So I'm not sure if this applies to hurricanes, but are the more later like the systems in November more cold core?
No, I mean they'll still be warm core systems, but they can, especially ones that form along the eastern Florida coast. Those ones can become more cold core and be extra tropical quickly. Like sometimes they'll spin up and they
Yeah.
won't get that designation of, they'll be given like a what am I thinking of, like potential tropical cyclone.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Subtropical.
yeah, exactly. Where it doesn't actually get a name because it's not tropical, but
Right.
it still it can be an impactful system, up into through the East Coast. So excellent question
Right.
there. Excellent question.
Especially if it emerges from like a cutoff low or a trough that has cooler air behind it.
Yeah. So
Uh, mo-
let's.
yeah. That's sorry.
No, you're good. I did want to just real quick take a look a little bit closer. We were looking at this earlier at basically our system here coming into the west, because this actually is going to be a pretty big story across these areas the next really week or two, because there's just going to be so much rain, and then you can obviously see the intermountain snow there, and then another round of rain. And with these rounds that come
Yeah.
through right along the immediate coast, I mean, we could be seeing again some really some pretty powerful winds. Um,
Definitely.
let's take a look here at some of our at our overall weather pattern here. Let me go back out national on this because you'll see these different vortexes kind of come in
Yeah.
here, and where those kind of come in, just in the exit region of those, we could have some really powerful winds coming through some of these regions. And there's that big trough digging down.
Yeah.
So it is definitely um, definitely going to be an interesting next 10 days for sure.
Definitely.
So going
Oh,
from it's that time of year, Rob, where we really are in a roller coaster of the weather pattern.
for
So
sure.
definitely make sure you guys buckle up because um, if you don't like what the weather's doing, you can always just wait a day or two, and the pattern will probably change again. So, but hopefully we can get through the rest of hurricane season without another named storm, uh,
Hopefully.
and you know, see what Old Man Winter has for us this year. I think
Hmm.
it's going to be an active one. I think we're going to have a lot of different storms, and really in a lot of different areas. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah.
think the Upper Midwest is going to get a good number. Obviously, already getting some potential for early season lake effect snow here, potentially next week. Uh, that um, really does say a lot about what this winter could be like.
Yeah. And
So
it's pretty early for the southeast to get like lows in the 20s and 30s this time of year. I mean, that's kind of unheard of.
yeah, no, it really is. Um, I am not looking forward to it for sure.
You don't usually
So
see that until January. So
yeah, exactly. Like Thanksgiving, we can get cold, but yeah, usually we're not getting having to have hard freezes before Thanksgiving.
right,
So
it's very rare.
frost definitely, but not a hard freeze where Tuesday morning we're waking up and the temperatures are in the mid 20s. You know,
Right. Yeah.
so that's just I just still can't wrap my mind around it. And
Like the upper Midwest, yeah. I mean, that's pretty common in November and December. But here down south, no.
yeah, so I mean you gotta think of, and this is early, that we're talking,
Yeah,
where we've
for
got to be
sure.
thinking about the four P's, right? People, pipes, pets, and plants, right? So we got to
Yes.
protect people. So make sure that, people are staying indoors and stuff like that, limiting their exposure to the freezing weather. Pets, don't
Mhm.
leave your pets outdoors overnight. Bring the dogs in, bring the cats in, whatever make sure that they've got a warm
Right.
place to stay because no one wants to be out there when it's 20 degrees.
Mm-mm.
Uh, your pipes, especially here in the South. Any sort of exposed pipe, any pipe on an exterior wall, if you don't have the greatest insulation, drip those faucets. Get the sprinkler covers. Drain water lines where you can if you have an irrigation system. So you got to protect your pipes. If you got pipes up in the attic, you got to make sure that those have a way to get some heat and stuff like that, or some extra insulation. And then plants. Obviously, when we have a hard freeze, anything that is not uh, that will kill everything. So you've got to winterize it. Get them indoors, get them in the garage. So that's going to be something that even for me, I've got a ton of plants that are, believe it or not, still blooming here in November this week with the
Yeah.
70s. And by next week, I'm going to have all of that stuff inside if I want it to be able to survive the winter. So it's definitely going to be a big change and a lot earlier than what most people are thinking about. They're not thinking about that. They're still thinking fall weather, football, s'mores, fire pits. And here we are talking about a hard freeze for much of the eastern U.S. Let's just take a look here at the temperatures, just so you can kind of get an idea of exactly what we're talking about. I'm going to kind of zoom in here a little bit on this. So, I mean, we're talking, look at this huge area here of 20s across.
High temperatures?
No, this is morning lows. This is Monday morning.
Yeah, it's pretty cold.
So, I mean, 20s, 30s all the way down into northern Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. And then we get into Tuesday. I think this is, there's Tuesday morning. And obviously, this is the GFS, so it doesn't capture hour by hour. But again, it just shows you, I mean, look at these temperatures. I mean, we're talking 30s down here into Florida and stuff like that. And, 20s up here in some of those areas. So really this plunge of cold Arctic air, I mean, we're talking even teens up here in North Dakota, 15, 16 degrees. 19 degrees in some of these places. So
and that doesn't even account for wind chill.
Yeah, exactly. These are just actual temperatures. I mean, we're talking 22 degrees here in upstate New York, 20 degrees, 20 to 25 here in the Appalachians. I mean, look at these temperatures here in the mountains, 16 degrees in some of the higher elevations of the mountains. So this is going to be a big story, big deal, guys, that you need to be ready for come early next week. So if you're just joining us on the live stream, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to drop a comment in the live chat there. Let us know where you're watching from. If you've got a question, you can definitely ask as well. Be glad to answer that. We can take a look at a specific area for you here on the live stream. But this is going to be probably, in all honesty, Rob, one of the earliest cold snaps that I can think of in really probably the last 10 years. So
definitely, I agree.
I mean, obviously it's not going to last long, but hey, it's annoying, but yeah, not much you can do about it other than, be prepared. And then, like I said, so once we get past Tuesday, we're going to moderate those temperatures. I mean, we're going to be getting back up to, 60 degrees here in the southeast, 70s even into parts of Texas and down here into Florida by Wednesday afternoon. So then, kind of stays more fall-like, big push of warm air by middle of next week here across the central and southern plains through the southeast. And then we're getting that cold weather coming, diving here down into the Rockies by the end of next week. So really, we've got quite the weather pattern flip that's going to be coming here in our area these next week and a half to 2 weeks. So hope you're ready for it, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're saying here that wind chills could be a possibility, but right now it's very mixed. So
Oh yeah,
we
let's
can get.
take a look at some of these wind chills, Rob, because you just mentioned that. So let's take a look
Yeah.
at some of these wind chills here, um, for those days that we were just talking about.
Mm.
Here we go. Let's get to Monday. All right, so Monday morning, look at some of these wind chill numbers. I mean, we're talking single digit wind chills up here in the Dakotas, teens all the way down through St. Louis, 20s down into Memphis, even here in Atlanta, 30s, 20s down into like Birmingham, over toward, Starkville, where I went to school at. So, I mean, this is going to be a big cold air outbreak. A ton of teens
Oh
here
yeah.
on Monday morning. Then let's go to Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, that's when our coldest morning is going to be. Wind chills right around
Yeah.
20 degrees here in Atlanta. Look at this down in Florida. Wind chills
31.
31 degrees down near Tampa. 31 down degrees down near Tampa, and in the low 20s up here in the panhandle of Florida and northern Florida, 28 degrees. I mean, even down in Miami and some of those
Wow.
areas, down in the 40s. So it is going to be cold. And single digit, I mean, the mountains, the Appalachian Mountains,
Wow.
2 degrees.
2 degrees.
They're in West Virginia. So, um, yeah, I mean, these wind chills are going to be no joke. So that's why when we were talking about earlier, you've got to be mindful of those 4 Ps, because it does not take long to get frostbite when you've got these kind of temperatures. And then let's kind of take a look at some of those winds, what the winds are actually going to be blowing at here, across the area here. Let's go.
Yeah. I see how tight the ISO bars are.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
sure.
especially here across the Northeast, what they were talking about, we're going to be having some pretty big wind chills, and then here's that system coming through, and on the back side of that, you can see especially some of those winds coming off of Lake Michigan there on Sunday. I mean, we're talking 20, 30 mile per hour winds there coming off of the lake, um, and then coming in. We're talking again, 30, maybe even gusts up to 40 in some of these places as this system just kind of really deepens out. So, and even 15 to 20 mile per hour, there by Tuesday morning, you can really see. Look at this high pressure centered
Wow.
right over Oklahoma, the low pressure here off to the northeast, packed isobars, really
Hmm.
strong northwesterly winds, coming around, driving that cold air south as we get into Tuesday morning there here in the southeast. That's what's going to be giving us those really cold wind chills Monday night into Tuesday morning. I mean, look at some of these
Oh.
offshore winds here, and there's that system that we are just talking about offshore. I mean, we're talking some 60, 70 mile per hour winds, just off the coast, just a sting, what's called a sting jet, kind of
Yep.
forming right here off the mid Atlantic coastline with some absolutely insane winds. And that's going to cause some big surf also up and down
Yeah.
the mid Atlantic. So we'll see some more coastal erosion with this system as well. Going to be a big threat. So really, Rob, when we're looking at this, um, I mean, we're seeing all the different hazards. I mean, we've got the precipitation, we've got the wind, we've got the wind chills, we've got the coastal flooding, beach erosion, lake effect
Snow.
snow, for some of these areas. So it is going to be really a very interesting next week. So I'm really just, again, I'm soaking up these warm days that I've got here because I know this is the end of the 70s for us here, most likely for 2025. I don't think we'll get back up into the 70s here the rest of this calendar year. So
So
I
probably the end,
think,
end of the 80s here after
yeah.
this.
So I think for us here in Atlanta, I think these are our last couple days of 70s. So I'm out there, staying on my deck in the afternoons, getting that project finished here these next couple days, and then I'm gonna be getting ready, getting my pipes ready and everything like that for beginning of next week, and really trying to raise awareness here for folks in the southeast, especially that maybe aren't quite ready for it. Gonna have to break out those big heavy winter coats Monday and Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Um, Across a large part of the eastern U.S., like we were seeing. So, Rob, thank you so much for joining me tonight on our live stream. And folks, if you're new here to the channel, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you'll get notified when we go live. And we'll see you guys on our next live stream as we get closer to this event unfolding. So stay safe out there, and we'll see you guys on the next live stream. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Take care.